County of San Bernardino, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, how good have the ethics been in county government here in the last 20 years?
20 years?
Yeah.
Well, times it's been a 1.
Okay.
I think you'd have to. I really couldn't rate it over a 20-year period.
Okay.
But we've had serious difficulties, obviously.
And recently, where would you rate it? Let's say in the past 12 months.
I'd say it's right around a 5 or a 6 and improving, I think.
Okay. And one of the ways to improve it, you say, is to support the establishment of an independent ethics commission. One of the reasons you say that we need this is because of some highlights of the recent grand jury report. So why don't you tell the listeners what the grand jury had to say about the importance of establishing something like this?
Well, certainly. Well, first, let me say that I actually suggested the establishment of an ethics commission during the campaign, and this is something I've talked about a great deal, and we've been working on for about 6 months. We ran into a little situation with the budget, which has held off any progress on new projects, but the grand jury report coming out 2 weeks ago provides a new shot in the arm for the need for an ethics commission, and hopefully will enable us to find the funding to make it really functional. We're hopeful that we can use the grand jury report as a new starting point for actually a kickstart to getting an ethics commission in place in the next few months.
One of your quotes at the beginning of the press release says, "It's clear that we cannot police ourselves and we're only going to be able to root out corruption and unethical behavior through the establishment of an independent ethics commission," Supervisor Derry stated. So you're convinced there's no way that the politicians in this county can police themselves?
Well, I think at times we have, and then at times we failed. Quite clearly, there have been numerous instances, as you mentioned, over the past 20 years, where we have failed miserably. And not all those were elected. Some of those were appointed county officials, county chief administrative officers, but we also had numbers of elected officials, including most recently the county assessor. It clearly seems to be a problem that raises its head every number of years. So I clearly think we do need something in addition to what we've had, and I think the Ethics Commission is one way to get to the root of the problem on a permanent basis with a permanent watchdog, with people keeping an eye out on how we operate in county government. And I think that scrutiny will help us police ourselves better, but clearly we have not done a very good job of that.
You have pledged that you're going to contribute $50,000 from your district budget toward the cost of funding the commission. Well, you're putting your money where your mouth is. What about your colleagues?
Well, we may have an answer for that. I spoke with the Chairman Ovitt, and he believes that we can find the entire $500,000 someplace in the county budget. So that would make it much easier. I'm hopeful that whichever way we need to finance it, that it will be financed and will be permanent. It's important that it have a permanent budget structure because, we don't want to see retaliation by elected officials if the Ethics Commission were to come down on some people in 10 years and watch their budget disappear.
Yeah.
We can't really afford that. I think there's going to be quite a bit of scrutiny, though, of any budgetary action. Once the commission is established, I think it'd be very difficult to remove those dollars with the history we've had in San Bernardino County.
Okay, so how do you see the format of this Ethics Commission going? Who'd be on it, how'd they get on it, how they'd investigate, what power would they have, etc.?
Well, I'd like to see them have subpoena power as well as the power to fine individuals for violations. I do believe it needs to be an independent group, which means we need to set some basic standards and qualifications for the potentially five-member board. They need to be professional individuals with a relatively high education level, and maybe perhaps be from different fields. And then we'd like all the qualified all the applicants to be screened by an independent agency, perhaps the League of Women Voters, to make sure they're qualified. And then we put all the qualified applicants into a hat, and we draw randomly. That's the best way to ensure their independence, as well as the fact to avoid anyone stacking the deck. I'd rather not have any politicians making any appointments to this commission.
Are you worried about? Sometimes these things can get a life of their own and cause problems. I mean, like recently, Governor Palin stepped down in Alaska because she put together a very liberal regime to file ethics commission complaints in the state of Alaska against elected officials, and basically she was getting a complaint a week and going broke trying to defend herself. And we've seen how the independent prosecutor law, which was established after Watergate, got out of control in Washington. Do you have any concern about that?
I really don't, because we have numerous ethics commissions throughout the state of California for local governments, and they've been very effective, and we haven't heard of many problems of that nature. Oakland has one, San Diego has one, Los Angeles has one. They're actually quite numerous, and there's quite a bit we can learn from them, and some of them have made mistakes that we hope to avoid by analyzing those processes and how they put together their ethics commissions. I'm relatively confident that we can avoid those situations in San Bernardino County. It can't be, and I think by setting very strong parameters, and that we can avoid those type of abuses.
Well, one final piece in a minute or less. You're proposing a sunshine ordinance as well. Explain.
Well, a sunshine ordinance would open public records up to greater scrutiny. Currently, we have a court ruling that says anything related to the deliberative process, whether it be receipts or transcripts or emails, can be denied public access. And I don't think that's correct. San Francisco has one that eliminates deliberative process alone as being a reason not to provide public records after public records requests. And I think the more the public knows about how we operate and what we're doing and how we're spending the money, the more trust they'll have in us, and the less likely we are to do something untoward. So I'm hopeful that we can pass that as part of the Ethics Commission, as an addendum or as an additional ordinance that they would have the ability to enforce. And I hope that it will provide greater scrutiny to the media as well as the public.
Supervisor Derry, 3rd District, County of San Bernardino, thank you for joining us here on the IE News Hour and talking about your ideas for a new and powerful ethics commission to help clean up some of the scandals we've had in county government here in San Bernardino. Thank you so much for joining us. My pleasure. Thank you, Lou. All right, talk to you soon, and that's a wrap. As well as hello. In county government here in San Bernardino. After public records requests. An ordinance 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 after public
records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests. An ordinance to reject public records requests.